Hey everybody, it's Sue and I am making a special yummy dessert today. So I will be using, it's probably going to show up backwards to you, but it's the Chocolate Bliss Brownie Mix. And I'm going to be making today like a dense brownie. It's going to come out more like a cookie. It's great for using a cutter or to make shapes. So I'm just going to start this out. I have to start my oven to 350 to heat up. I'm going to put my 2 eggs. Just the eggs, not the shells. And it calls for whisking your egg with, you can use butter or oil, so I'm using a half a cup of butter. And I will whisk that together. It says whisk my eggs and my butter. And then I will add in a 1/4 cup. You can use milk or water. So I'm using some milk. So once that's whisked together, if you find your scissors, then you can. See, my handy dandy Epicure scissors are always rather sharp because I use them constantly. So you add in your mix. I think we'll stir in the mix rather than going to use the awesome silicone saute spoon from Epicure. Now this thing is wonderful because it also works as a ladle and it will scrape the sides of your bowl clean. So I could use my ladle if I wanted to, but seeing as I'm stirring, it helps me get a nice mix on my batter. So I'm going to get that all mixed in, and then I'm going to let it sit for about 10 minutes just because it is a gluten-free mix, so just to kind of let everything get nice and moisturized. Some people find when they're eating gluten-free foods or desserts that they might be sandy or gritty. I don't find that, but I'm going to try that this time because I did see somebody talking about letting it stand for a little bit before you put it into your pan. So I'm going to try it. We'll see if it changes how I feel about it, but I love this brownie mixture. I like being able to throw this into a microwave and in 5 minutes have some yummy brownies. But I'll be back in just a few minutes as I go to put it in the pan. I'm going to let it stand now. As you can see, it's all mixed in. And I'm just going to let it stand for 10 minutes and I'll be right back. You know, while I am letting my brownie mixture sit, I'm going to show you another favorite of mine that I'm going to be using from Epicure this evening to go with this dessert. Because I'm not sure, I have 2 things in my brain to make for dessert tonight, but I can go either way with them. So I'm using a cup of whipping cream and a package of, oh my gosh, this is heavenly, Epicures caramel sauce. Now, if you've not tried this caramel sauce yet, you don't know what you're missing. It is, I'm a caramel person. Sure, I like chocolate, like a chocolate sundae once in a while or some chocolate sauce on something, but caramel is where it's at for me. And this by far is probably the best caramel I've ever used. I'm not saying it because it's Epicure or I'm an Epicure consultant. I've heard it from many, many people that our caramel sauce is far supreme to any others that they've purchased. So I'm going to heat that up slowly. It says in pot, whisk sauce mix with 1 cup whipping cream, add a 1/4 cup of butter, bring to a boil, reduce to heat to medium high, and continue cooking for 3 to 4 minutes. So you'll see it starts to thicken up. I'll have to grab some butter out. It'll start to thicken up and it'll make the most amazing creamy caramel sauce. And you'll see what I'm going to do with that later. All right, I'm back. You can probably see that my caramel sauce is bubbling. I turn that down a little bit and let it simmer for a moment. But you see as it starts to thicken, it will stick to my little mini whisk here a little bit better, and you know that it's thickening up and ready to let cool and eat at that point. See, so it just says on the back to bring it to a boil and continue cooking it for 3 to 4 minutes. And then it says to chill before you serve it, but you can leave it a little bit warm too because it's just yummier that way. So there you go. Well, keep an eye on that. This this little mini whisk from Epicure. This is the big whisk, but on this little mini whisk, it's fantastic. I love it. I love just how sturdy and solid it is. And not all whisks are created equally. There you go. See, you probably can't see it on camera, but it's starting to stick a little bit to my whisk. So it's just about ready to go. What I'm going to do is, my oven's ready. My brownie mixture has sat, so I am going to put it into, I haven't said that. So today I'm going to spread this brownie mixture, instead of doing it in like a 9-inch or 8x8 or square cooking pan. What I'm doing is I'm spreading it onto my quarter sheet pan, and I've got one of my quarter sheet pan liners on here. What I'm going to do is spread it on here and cook it in the oven at 350 for about 15 minutes. I gotta watch my caramel here. I don't want it to burn. That looks nice and thick. I can shut that off. And just take it off the burner and let it start to cool. So I'm going to spread this brownie mixture around my quarter sheet pan liner, and then I'm going to bake it at 350 for about 15 minutes or until my toothpick comes out clean. And then I'm going to let it completely cool. So a good 30 minutes I'm going to let it cool. I don't normally oil my cookware. It did say to do so with this one, so I didn't want to take a chance. So I did. I lightly oiled my silicone sheet pan, just in case. Because, you know, I'm trying to, this one for the first time, so I make sure it doesn't stick. But I don't usually have any trouble with my silicone and sticking, but there we go. So it's nice and spread out. I'm going to stick that in the oven and cook it for about 15 minutes. So I'll be back soon. All right, everybody. I have finished with my brownies. Just going to put them on. This is one of the Epicure cooling racks. Let me shut that off. So the Epicure cooling racks, these are fantastic because you can actually fit them inside your sheet pan, put your french fries or your chicken on them, and they almost work, I guess, similar to an air fryer because the heat will kind of rotate all throughout and underneath whatever you're cooking. So my toothpick says my brownie's cooked. I'll let that cool for a little while. My caramel sauce is done. Let's cover that up for a little bit until dinner time. And last night I marinated some ribs. Let me just check here. These ribs have Epicure's barbecue chicken and rib rub with a little bit of smoky sriracha because we love the little kick that it gives. And these ribs on this side, I rubbed down both sides yesterday with some Cuban mojo. I am so excited to try these ribs with this because this seasoning smells fantastic. It's brand new. You should try it. Definitely try it. It smells so good. All right. So that's that. I'll be back soon. We'll show you dessert completed and probably dinner done. So here's what I'm going to do. Throwing some potatoes into my microwave just to start them off. I'm going to throw them in the oven to bake. And I am throwing my ribs in the oven as well, because why not? The oven's already hot, so from my brownies, so why not cook it now? So here is my ribs, and I have it on my full-size baking sheet. I have my silicone liner underneath because it's so much easier to clean than not using it, because everything, just all that grease and everything that will drip down through the trays will gather there, and it's so easy just to wipe it off with soap and water and it'll be clean. I won't have to have any caked on the baking sheet and trying to scrape it off. So I have my ribs here that have the barbecue chicken and rib and the smoky sriracha sea salt, and these ones have some Cuban mojo. I'm going to throw them in the oven at 350. Just let them cook slowly a little while, and dinner will be done, dessert will be ready, and I'll be back then. It's me, Sue, back. So I've let my brownie cool completely. Now I'm just going to lift out. Look at that. See, this is on the silicone liner. I have nothing to clean. Amazing. Well, obviously I'm going to give that a little rinse, but it says to flip it over on your cutting board and then to peel it back. Are you watching how easy that was? So there's my brownie. I have a little bit to rinse off. No big deal. It will come off with a little bit of soap and water. And then, so making something kind of special and exciting. I'm excited to make them. I was going to make some ice cream sandwiches with cookies. But I thought, hey, instead of cookies, I'll make some brownies. So I'm going to try something here. There's a couple ways you could do this. So if I had a cookie, I would just cut it the same shape as my cookie. I am going to, I think maybe, should do some smaller ones for dessert size. So I'm going to use, this is Epicure's 3-in-1 burger press. Right, there's those pieces. So this piece, as you saw in previous videos, I make the sliders with. You just put your hamburger in, push it down, and you squish it in. Same with the big ones, you put your hamburger in, you squish it in there, you got your burger. Or you can take this off, do your one patty, use this, put a nice dent in it, put your filling in, your cheese or some garlic or blue cheese or feta, whatever you'd like, and then put another patty on the top and just squish it over the top and you have an amazing stuffed burger. But today, I'm like, how can I use this to make some ice cream sandwiches? Obviously, I didn't make cookies this size. That is a little bit too big for me. That would probably do the man of the house to make a, you know, I'll make him one that size. So I'm just going to cut. It's really big. This would be good for me if I was doing just a flat side. One side. I'll just push that through there, make sure you get it right. Take your cookie cutter of any size. See that? I just popped it out. I'm just going to push it out. And there's that onto my plate. I, for myself, would probably use a cookie cutter size because it's more to my taste. There you go. I got that, so I can make a little one for me. Now, I could cut out 2. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. So let's make, it's going to be a really big sandwich, ice cream sandwich, but let's do it anyway. Okay, so there's that one. Waiting for me, I would prefer, I'm just going to put some ice cream. Maybe I'll make a sandwich for me. But I would put a dollop of ice cream on top of this while it's warm, some whipped cream, and some of my caramel sauce. But let's show you how some people are making ice cream sandwiches these days. I've got some vanilla ice cream, if I can, oh, I didn't open the package. Oh, if I can get that package open. Where is my scoop? Oh, no. Oh, well, we'll just use a spoon because that's what we can find right now. So I will put some ice cream into my burger press. Now you can make this as thick or as thin as you want. And then you take your press. Let's just move that out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. And you just push it down. I didn't do that back up again, sorry. But then you'll take that back off to set it on top of your cookie, or in this case, on top of your brownie. Look at this. Look at how amazing this is starting to come out. Now, for me, too much for me, but I would cut that in half and share it with somebody. But let's go one step better because why not use up that extra whipping cream that I had? Put some whipping cream. Let me put a little bit of ice cream on top of my piece of brownie. And then I will put a little bit of caramel sauce. If you can see, I don't know if you can tell, like, see how it's sticking to my spoon now? So I'll put a little bit of caramel sauce on my brownie. And then a dollop of my homemade whipped cream that I just made. And there you go. I'm just going to slide right off. brownie. Because I put it back in the fridge. I probably should have put it in the freezer to keep it nice and firm. But I've not eaten dinner yet, but I'm telling you right now, I'm going to take a bite of that with my whipped cream. Mmm. So good. So now with this amazing ice cream sandwich, look at that. You can make it as a dessert and cut it up, put some whipped cream on the top, and then some caramel sauce, or just drizzle your caramel sauce over the top. And there you go. There's dessert. Look at that. So think, if you're using cookies, you just use your cookie and make it that big. If you want to make smaller ice cream sandwiches, I suggest using this slider size that I just used. I don't know where I put the bottom piece. It's here somewhere. Probably under my cutting board. There it is. So if I wanted to make a smaller ice cream sandwich, maybe I'm making some for the kids, then I would make a smaller one, like the size that I made there. Turn it. Oops. So the way I did this brownie, it's a little bit denser, not as much as of a nice light brownie cake, but it's a little bit denser. So I would put my ice cream then into here. And do the same, just squish it down, because I didn't put that in straight. It's a shame having to demo all this stuff for you, I'm telling you. Okay, so I would just put that straight across, pop this out, put it onto my sandwich. Obviously, I think if it wasn't just me eating this, I would obviously use a knife if it was for company. Slide that off, and then put another cookie piece. This is going to be good. Oh, come on, silly. Cut. There we go. We'll just cut that, put it on the side, and voila. I'm going to put this in the fridge for later because I have that one for dinner. But this is my ice cream sandwich, or my brownie ice cream sandwich. Cold on my teeth. So good though. Honestly, the burger press, so it's not just for burgers anymore. We can make some amazing desserts with it too. So that's that. Dinner's still in the oven. I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care, everybody. Thanks for being here with me.